I've been thinking about money differently lately. And I think money is one of those subjects that's difficult to talk about honestly because almost everyone has a complicated relationship with it. Some people have spent their entire lives trying to get more of it. Some are terrified of losing it. Some have just never had enough. And some have more than they'll ever need and still don't feel secure. Some people feel guilty for wanting it. Others build their entire identity around having it. And for a long time, I think I mostly saw money as something that you earn. You work, you produce, you provide value, and you get paid. And then you decide what to do with what you made. That's true. But I think there's something deeper going on. Money isn't just about something that we spend, it reveals something about us. Jesus talked about money constantly, and I've wondered why. Why would the Son of God care so deeply and much about something as ordinary as coins? And I don't think it was because money was the point. I think it's because he was trying to understand what money can do to the human heart. Jesus said, "What your treasure is, there your heart will lie." And I want you to notice the order. Sometimes we think our money follows our heart, and it does. But Jesus seems to suggest that our heart can follow our money. What we continually invest in, we begin caring about. What we continually chase, we actually find controlling us. And that's where money gets dangerous. Not because money is evil. Scripture doesn't actually say that. It says the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. That's different. Money is a tool, and tools can do incredible things. Money can feed a family, it can build a home, it can pay someone's medical bills and start a business, it can employ people and support a ministry, it can feed someone who's hungry, and it can help a friend who's struggling. It can fund something truly beautiful and create opportunities for generations, for people that you'll never even meet. Money can be used for tremendous good, but a tool, it becomes dangerous when it becomes a master. And I think that's the question that I've been asking myself. Do I have money or does money have me? Because those can look almost identical from the outside. We can be wealthy and incredibly generous. You can have almost nothing and be consumed by money. So, greed, it isn't measured only by the size of a bank account, it's a condition of the heart. So, contentment is as well. I've known seasons where I thought if I could just get to this number, then I'll feel secure. Make this much, save this much, build this much, then I'll finally relax. But there's a problem with enough. If you don't define it, it keeps moving. So, what you once dreamed about making, right? Suddenly there's another number, another lifestyle, another house, another investment in front of us, another deal to make. The finish line moves. And if we're not careful, we can spend our entire lives running towards the feeling of security that nothing is giving us, especially money not giving us. Because money can solve a lot of problems, and I don't want to pretend otherwise. Having money matters. If the refrigerator breaks, money's going to help you. If your child needs something, money's going to help you. If the mortgage is due, money's going to matter. So, if someone you love's in trouble, resources, at the end of the day, they're going to give you options. Poverty isn't somehow spiritually superior. Financial irresponsibility isn't holiness, right? Providing for your family matters. Saving matters. Planning matters. Building something that can outlive you can be incredibly wise. But there's a line somewhere between using money wisely and asking money to give us something that only God can provide: security, identity, worth, peace in our life. Those are heavy things to ask money to carry. And eventually it collapses under weight because you can have money and you can still be terrified. You can have money and still compare yourself constantly. You can have money and still feel like you're behind. You can have money and you can still lose everything, right? Jesus told a story about a rich man whose land produced like an enormous harvest. And that man looked at everything that he had and he said, I'll tear down my barns and I'll build bigger ones. I'll store everything and then I can finally relax. Eat, drink, be merry. There's nothing inherently wrong with barns. There's nothing wrong with a successful harvest. And there's nothing wrong with saving. The tragedy was that the man had built his entire future around something that he couldn't keep. That night, his life ended. And suddenly, the barns didn't matter. Nothing else mattered. That's sobering because eventually every dollar that I've ever earned will belong to someone else. Every house, every account, every possession and investment, eventually I'll leave it all behind. We know that. But sometimes we live like we don't know it. And strangely, remembering that doesn't make me want to become careless with money. It makes me want to steward it better. Because if it's temporary, then the question becomes, what can this temporary resource accomplish while it's in my hands? And that's a much more interesting question than how much can I accumulate? Because I want to provide well for my family. And I think that's part of my responsibility. I want stability, I want margin, I want to prepare for emergencies and build things my children can benefit from. I want to make wise investments. And I don't think any of those desires conflict with faith. But I also don't want to build such a comfortable life that comfort becomes the thing that I'm living for. That's where generosity becomes important because generosity does something to money. It reminds money who's in charge. Every time I give something away, I'm declaring this doesn't own me. I can release it. I can help someone. I can meet a need. There's some flies out here. They nasty. I can give without receiving anything in return. And maybe that's partly why Jesus talked about generosity so much. Giving doesn't only change the life of the person receiving, it changes the heart of the person giving. It loosens our grip. And I've noticed something else. Generosity, it isn't something that we should postpone until we're wealthy. Because if I can't be generous with a little, why do I assume that I'll suddenly become generous with much? More money doesn't automatically create character. It often reveals the character that's already there. And if I'm selfish with $10, I can probably find a way to be selfish with 10 million. If I'm grateful with little, maybe I'll be prepared to steward more. That's the pattern that we've been talking about. Faithfulness with what's already in our hands. And there's another side to stewardship that doesn't get talked about as much: spending. It's okay to enjoy things: a good meal, a trip, a comfortable home, something that you work super hard for. Scripture is going to repeat uh, and describe good things as gifts from God. The problem isn't the enjoyment, it's when enjoyment becomes dependence, when I need that next purchase, the next upgrade, the next experience to feel okay. I've bought things before that feel incredibly important until I owned them. Then a few weeks later, they were just another thing. And that's how possessions work. Novelty fades. And then the heart starts looking for that next thing. And if we're not careful, consumption becomes a treadmill, right? Earn, then buy, then adjust your life. Then you want more, then you earn more, then you buy more, then you adjust again, and somehow you never arrive. Contentment, it breaks that cycle. Contentment says, I can be grateful for what I have while still working towards something more. And I love that distinction. Contentment isn't a lack of ambition, it isn't refusing to build, and it definitely isn't pretending that you don't have goals. It's refusing to make your joy wait until those goals are accomplished. I can work hard and I can still be grateful today. I can build wealth while without worshiping wealth. And I can pursue opportunity without believing that opportunity determines my worth. I can enjoy money without becoming endlessly enslaved to it. And maybe one of the clearest tests is this: can I obey God when obedience costs me something? Because it's easy to say that money isn't something that matters until generosity hurts you, until honesty costs the sale, until integrity costs the opportunity, until doing the right thing means leaving money on the table. That's when we discover what we actually worship. Jesus said we cannot serve both God and money. He didn't say we couldn't have money. He didn't say we he didn't say we couldn't have it. He said that we couldn't serve money. That's the distinction that I want to remember. Money can work for me. Money can work through me. Money can serve my family. It can serve people. It can help build things. But money makes a terrible God, and it never tells me I'm enough. It can promise tomorrow and not give it. I feel like we've all experienced that. It can never forgive me. It can never love my child for me. It can never give my life meaning. And it certainly can't come with me when I leave. So I want to put money back in its proper place. Important, but not ultimate. Useful, but not sacred. Something to earn honestly, spend thoughtfully, save wisely, and invest patiently. You want to give generously and enjoy your life gratefully. And, hold loosely, because ultimately, just like my time, just like my body, just like every ability and opportunity I've ever been given, what money passes through my hands is something I'm stewarding for a little while. And one day I'll leave it all behind. So the question I want to keep asking isn't simply how much money can I make? It's what kind of good can I do with whatever God allows me to have? Can I provide? Can I build? Can I create opportunity? Can I relieve suffering? Can I help someone who can't repay me? Can I leave my children wisdom instead of merely possessions? Can I hold enough margin that when He puts a need in front of me, I actually have the ability to respond? That's the kind of wealth I want. Not just a larger number, a larger capacity to do good. Because money is powerful, and that's exactly why I don't want it sitting on the throne of my life. I want it in my hands, but not in my heart. A servant, a resource, a responsibility, and a tool. And then when God asks me to open my hand, I want to be able to do it because everything in my hand came from Him, anyways. And maybe financial freedom isn't finally reaching the point where we have enough money to need nothing. Maybe the deepest kind of financial freedom is reaching the point where money no longer gets to tell you who you are. And I think that's important. So I just appreciate you for being here. These dogs are yapping. Anyways, thanks for coming, y'all. To the next one. Peace.